Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. We're here today with a match preview as Stockport County take on Reading at Edgeley Park tomorrow night. It's going to be an interesting game for Stockport County because I'm interested to see how we're going to actually respond to what has been a negative couple of weeks in terms of results and even more so in terms of performances. Obviously, the game on Saturday against Lincoln, the result was poor, the performance was possibly even poorer. And it just hasn't been a very good couple of weeks. As I say, we've not won a game for almost a month now, and the performances across the season just haven't looked up to scratch. So going to be very interesting to see what the response is. I think we need a good response as well. I think a lot of people on Saturday particularly are getting really, really frustrated now because not only do the results not seem quite there at the moment, the performances aren't there as well, and we just don't look like we don't look like a team. We don't look like we know what we're doing. I'd almost go as far to say I think County are in a little bit of an identity crisis at the moment in the sense that what are we as a football club? But what are we as a team rather? Because Dave Challoner said something, I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was something along the lines post match Northampton that people can whinge about us booting, we should boot the ball long, but we're going to play it this way. This is our way of playing. We're going to stick to that, so people better get used to it. He basically said that something along those lines, I'm pretty sure. And then we had the incident at half time against Lincoln, and he's changing the goalkeeper. Now he's only changing the goalkeeper, and imagine it was a tactical thing because then suddenly in that second half, Hinchliffe starts playing it longer, and people seemed a little bit happy with that in that moment in time. But for me, that's a big mistake. It's a big call to change the goalkeeper. Obviously, Curry Adai came in the summer. It was a big move, a big call at the time, big surprise for Adai to come in and take that number one spot. There was talk about it at the beginning of the season. Would he have the number one spot? What would happen with Ben Hinchliffe? And as we've gone into the season, it has been Curry Adai who's been the number one goalkeeper. And he has made a couple of mistakes along the way, don't get me wrong, but the last couple of weeks he seemed to have fixed that part of his game, and then it just sort of crept back in again with the poor giveaway, for the build-up of Lincoln's first goal. But for me personally, if you bring in a goalkeeper in the summer, you go, this is our number one goalkeeper now, we're bringing him in, this is the foundation we're going to build going forward. It wasn't just the goalkeeper we changed in the summer. We changed a lot of the core of that team. We ripped up a lot of that core, Sarcevic and Madden as well. And people are saying at the time, well, the reason why we're doing that is because it's going to be a transitional period. We've got to get younger players in. It's going to take time. That's why we're moving on these players. That's why Madden wasn't given, offered a longer contract than 1 year. That's why Sarcevic wasn't offered a longer contract than 1 year. But then Hinchliffe was offered more than 1 year. Then people go, oh, well, it's maybe he was on less wages. Okay, fair enough. But then you bring in Norwood, who's 33, 34. What was the thinking behind that? That doesn't seem to have been a brilliant move. But going back to my previous point, we were told that we're building a team. It's going to take time. A lot of young players coming in. We need to get behind them. Corey Adai's coming. What is he? 26, 27 years of age. He's much younger than Ben Hinchliffe. That's obviously the move that they see for the future of the football club going forward. Corey Adai as the number one goalkeeper. So why are you bloody subbing him at half time? Now some people go, oh well, to give us a better chance of winning the game. Well, that comes into Tuesday. That comes into tomorrow. So are we going to start Corey Adai tomorrow? Because if we took him off at half time against Lincoln because we thought he'd have a better chance to win the game with Hinchliffe in goal, then why wouldn't you start Hinchliffe tomorrow night against Reading? And that's what will be interesting in terms of the team selection tomorrow. Will he go with Adai? Will he go with Hinchliffe? I think he should go with Adai. I don't think he should have subbed Adai off in the first place against Lincoln. But I'm sure a lot of people would want Hinchliffe in goal because that's certainly the feeling I got at half time at Lincoln. Everyone cheering Hinchliffe name. He went out to train, to warm up, and everyone was fully behind that move. It felt like in the ground. So it's an interesting one. I wasn't particularly on board with it. Don't get me wrong, Ben Hinchliffe, legend of the football club, loved to have him in goal. But at the end of the day, we were told that this is the direction the football club's going in, and we're going to bring in young players and we're going to give them time. So you've got to buy into that, and that does mean there's going to be mistakes along the way. You can't sit there in the summer and say we're going to bring in a load of young players. It's going to take time. It's part of a transitional phase, and then start kicking up a fuss when they make a few mistakes. That's always going to happen. What you've got to do is allow them to play through it and learn from it. It's not like we've got experienced players ahead of them to learn from. Maybe in the case of Hinchliffe and Adai, but you don't learn from watching Hinchliffe on the bench. Adai's come in, did perfectly well in League Two again last season with Crawley. That's why we brought him in. So he's made a couple of mistakes. Don't get me wrong. What I would say is the mistake he made against Lincoln as well on Saturday. Yeah, he gives the ball away really, really poorly, but the position he gives the ball away in, it's as close to the halfway line as it is the goal. So there's still, 4 or 5 players behind the ball, including the goalkeeper. The defence didn't do well enough either to sort of cut that bit of play out from Lincoln. They got through far too easily anyway, and of course he probably should have saved it as well. But also I think Hinchliffe could have saved the second one. So I don't think either goalkeeper in goal on Saturday made much of a difference. Overall, County just weren't good enough from the day. We started brightly, we didn't do enough to capitalise on it. We've also had a couple of problems as well. Nick Powell went down early on. That seems to be another injury for him, which might keep him out for some time, which is a shame for him because he's looked like a real bright spark since he come back into the side. So it'll be interesting to see what Dave Challoner does in terms of the midfield, with Powell now not being an option. But just generally, Saturday was not great. It really wasn't great, and you do come away from it feeling a bit down, really, and particularly about how's the season going to go, because we were looking up the table at the beginning of the season, thinking we could get playoffs this season, we could get promotion, maybe not get promotion this season, but certainly playoffs. Now it's we're still in the top half of the table just about, but maybe we've been humbled a little bit. I think it's fair to say. But I mean, I'm just a bit frustrated about Saturday still. I struggle to see where the goals are coming from. I keep going back to it as well. We don't look in control enough, and Challoner spoke about that. Plenty of times over the last couple of weeks. He talks about lack of good decision making, mistakes being made over and over again. It's the same kind of things we're seeing week in, week out. I also was quite surprised to see Horsfall not start the game. He opted for Sam Hughes to start ahead of him, who did very well actually on Tuesday against Northampton. But I just thought Horsfall's your guy. He's the main man. He's probably the best defender at the football club. So why would you not bring him straight back in? I suppose that goes along with the logic that Challoner has of, if you get the shirt and you play well, then no one will just come in and take that off you unless you play badly again. So maybe it's sticking to that logic. Who knows? But then what happens with the selection on Tuesday in regards to Horsfall, and does he go in ahead of Hughes again now? So very interesting to see. I think we are in a bit of an identity crisis because he did change tactic at half time in the game. We did go away from trying to play it shorter. We did try and play it longer, and he did say post match against Northampton that we wouldn't be doing that. So I think we are finding ourselves in a little bit of an identity crisis as a team. How we want to play, what's the best way going about things, but also as well knowing this best team. And I think that's been hampered a little bit by injuries, but we don't look like we know our best team at the moment in this point in time. And I think the biggest problem we've got is the right back position. I think that's a real struggle for County at the moment. We've got 3 players that can play right back, but are all injured. Mingy, Southern Hales, and of course Noyle, all injured. And that because of that, we're having to go with a back 3, which we're not brilliant at. We don't really play very well in the back 3. I don't think personally. We struggle for control in midfield when we play with that formation. I just think the biggest struggle right now, yes, we're not scoring enough goals. Yes, we're not, controlling the game well enough. But I think a lot of that does stem from, the change of formation, which I think our hand is almost being forced in at the moment. And hopefully we've got some players back. I'm not aware of any injuries, any players back from injury, but I'd like to see, I'd like to be surprised by that tomorrow night. To be honest, I'd like to see a right back come in. I don't know how long Mingy's out for. I don't know how long it's going to be, before Southern Hales or Noyle's back, but we're crying out for one of those to be back fit again. The only problem is one of them's back fit again. We rush him back in because we need to, then they get back injured again. That's the only concern I've got. But yeah, as I say, I just think that's a massive problem at the moment, the right back position. The midfield doesn't look strong enough as well. Again, Norwood just doesn't look at it. He doesn't look up to the pace of it. Even his passing ability isn't as good as I thought it would have been. So that's been a bit of a disappointing sign, if I'm being honest. And he doesn't have age on his side like players like Lewis Bate, where you can go, well, in time they'll come good, because he's at the end of his career. So, disappointed with that one. And you do sometimes sit there and wonder, if we gave out a contract for Norwood, why we couldn't have given that to a Sarcevic or Madden, which are 2 players that I think we're really, really missing at this point in time. Not just their ability on the pitch, but their personality, their character, their experience off the pitch, and particularly Madden. I'll say it all the time. That's a player there which is, in games like maybe Wigan a couple of weeks ago, he just says, look, give me the ball, I'll get on the ball and I'll either score a goal or make something happen out of nothing. And we're lacking that at the moment. We're lacking that creativity, that imagination, that unpredictability. That's all the things we're lacking at the moment with County, and I think those players had that in them. And these current players, which we've replaced them with, obviously don't have that, and it's unfair to expect that. A lot of them are young players, but it does mean we're going to have a bit of a short-term fall-off, and I think that's what we're experiencing at the moment. But, I mean, yeah, it's just disappointing. I mean, I'm quite happy with some players we brought in. The only thing I would say is we did replace Sarcevic with players like Fiorini, who doesn't look quite at it at the moment. Lewis Bate came in as well. But we never, we never replaced Paddy Madden. That was one player we never replaced. And I think that's really, really a big problem for us at the moment. Goals in the team. Wootton isn't an out-and-out striker. Well, he's not your main striker. He's not, he's not a striker you can hang your hat on and go, yeah, get me 25 goals this season. Louis Barry probably could do that. I think he's already on 7 or 8 goals this season, so individually he'll probably finish the season quite well, barring any injuries. But we don't have those players that can maybe get 15 or 20 goals. Tanto Alafi got his, it wasn't his first goal, but he got a goal again on Saturday. But he's not started the season as I think he would have liked to. He looks off it. Obviously missed pre-season as well. He's struggling to get up to speed. Just overall at the moment, the team looks quite dysfunctional, and it's frustrating to watch. But yeah, hopefully I've got it all out off my chest, and I want people's thoughts on what I've just said in that sort of 10 minutes of rambling. But the main thing is we do have Reading tomorrow. It is an opportunity to bounce back, and hopefully we can do that. Look, I'm always optimistic. I'm always positive, and hopefully they give us a reason to be as well tomorrow. So yeah, Stockport County, of course, going back to negativity here, are winless in the last 4 games. Last one against Shrewsbury on the 1st of October in that 2-0 win, in which Ethan Pye scored an incredible goal actually. Just 2 wins in the league at home so far this season, both in August. County's opening day win over Cambridge United, and of course their 2-0 win over Bristol Rovers on the 24th of August. Reading have won in all of their last 3 matches, not what we want to hear. Beating Crawley 4-1, Exeter 2-1, and the Bristol Rovers 1-0 at the weekend. Reading have 7 league wins this season. They've won just once away from home. Reading have also failed to beat Stockport County at Edgeley Park since their 1-0 win back in August 1971. Of course, the context of that is the two sides have not actually met at all this century. Actually, their last meeting came in March 1998 when County beat them 5-1 at Edgeley Park. I mean, I'd take that tomorrow night. That's exactly the kind of result we want to get back to winning ways and breed confidence again. I just don't see it happening at the moment, to be honest. I haven't even got a score prediction in my head right now, so I'll be giving one in a bit, and I'll just come up with it off the top of my head. Sam Smith is Reading's top scorer in League One so far this season. He scored 5 league goals from 12 matches. They also have former Manchester United midfielder Charlie Savage, who has 3 league goals to his name, and could be one to look out for, as he did impress during his time in Manchester United's academy. Of course, his dad is well known in football as well. Currently manager at Macclesfield as well, I believe. Interesting about Charlie Savage, he was actually linked to Stockport County in January, if people remember. How realistic were those rumours? How much was there? Was there any credibility to that? I'm not too sure, but it's just something to put out there. We potentially were looking at Charlie Savage in January, so that's an interesting one. If there was anything in it, then I'm sure he would have had his eyes on this fixture when it came out, and then of course it got postponed. So this is actually the rescheduled game, isn't it? That's coming in this Tuesday. This week, this Tuesday night. Stockport County have scored 5 in the last 5, but goals, like I say, feel like they're coming short supply. With just 2 of those 5 have come from the penalty spot, haven't they? With the Leyton Orient, Charlton, and then of course Northampton last week. We're just going to go over the results as well in League One over the weekend. Of course, Mansfield started the weekend in League One with a 1-1 draw against Birmingham City. Reading getting that 1-0 win over Bristol Rovers, as we mentioned. Bolton beating Peterborough 1-0. Cambridge beating Burton 1-0. They have gone from not being able to get a win to save their life to then suddenly 3 wins in 3 in League One. Very interesting for them. Charlton drew 2-2 with Wrexham. Huddersfield got a 2-0 win over Exeter. Of course, Lincoln beat Stockport County 2-1, much to my disappointment. Northampton Town managed to get a 3-0 win over Crawley Town. Rotherham beat Stevenage 2-0. Shrewsbury lost 2-0 to Barnsley. Wickham lost 3-0. Wickham beat Leyton Orient 3-0. And of course, Blackpool play Wigan tonight. Hopefully I haven't got any errors there, because they did make a slight mistake in one of the last previews with that. Here's the League One table as it stands right now. Birmingham City still top of the table by 3 points. Wickham have gone up into second, with Wrexham dropping down into third. Huddersfield are now currently 5th in the table. They're doing quite well actually. Now Reading as well in the final playoff position as it stands. Lincoln in 8th, Bolton 9th, Exeter 10th, Charlton in 11th, and Stockport County, of course, just about in the top half of the table in their 12th position on 18 points. Also on 18 points is 13th place Peterborough. Very interested as well in the bottom half of the League One table at the moment. Obviously, Wigan have dropped down over the last couple of weeks as well. Cambridge, of course, in 21st. They're finding their way out of that bottom half, that sort of relegation zone. I have to shout out to Cambridge, because I said to them I thought they'd get relegated a couple of weeks ago. But they're really, really proving me wrong with those couple of wins they've got on the bounce now. They're almost out the relegation spots, so fair play to them. Crawley on 10 points in 22nd place, and of course Shrewsbury dropping down to 23rd on 8 points, with Burton 4 points off anyone else. They're going to struggle. I think they're yet to win a game in League One this season still. And then of course, if we have a look at the upcoming League One fixtures this week, of course Blackpool do play Wigan, as we mentioned earlier on. Lincoln will take on Northampton Town. Stevenage against Bolton Wanderers, and of course Stockport County against Reading. All of those, I believe, will be the rearranged fixtures from the beginning of September. So we're going to go straight into team news then for Stockport County. As I say, there's no suspensions. Horsfall's back. He was at the weekend. I'm not aware of any injury situations, apart from the fact that I think Powell went off. So he's obviously not available for us, but I'm not aware of any players being back from injury. So with that in mind, we're going to go with what I think we'll pick, what I think Challinor will go with, and what I would go with. And this goalkeeping situation is going to spark debate, isn't it? I don't know what he's going to do with the goalkeeper. Every single game this season, I've not had any doubt in my mind about who's going to pick in goal. And now, 12 games in, we're now debating who's going to start in goal on Tuesday night. For me, he's got to go with Adai. He's a number one goalkeeper. Yes, he's made mistakes, but if you put Hinchliffe in goal, don't forget we've got a cup game as well on Saturday. Like, Hinchliffe would have been in line to play that game against Forest Green on Saturday. So if Hinchliffe goes in goal tomorrow, does Adai go and goal on Saturday and become the new cup goalkeeper? That's not going to work, is it? So I think he's got to go with Adai. Surely he'll go with Adai. Let me know your thoughts on that one. I've gone with Adai, that I think Channel will go with. I think we will stick with the back three, just because I don't see any right backs coming back into the side anytime soon. So I think he'll stick with Connolly. I think he'll bring Horsfall in. I think he'll go with Ethan Pye as that back three. I think he'll go with Fevrier and Toure as the wing backs, if you like. Norwood and Bate in midfield. Odin Bailey in the 10 position behind two strikers, which I think he'll go with Wootton and Barry. I think he'll also go with a back three, the same formation. But I think we should go with a back three of Pye, Hughes and Horsfall. Fevrier and Toure as the wing backs. Norwood and Bate in midfield, just because there's not a lot of options really in that sort of deep midfield position at the moment for County. With Collar missing, Camps missing, which is I think probably the biggest miss actually this season for us right at this moment in time. Callan Camps, very much a big miss for us at the moment. I've gone for Louis Barry in the 10 position. Now in this formation, he does have license to drift from the left or drift out to the left if needed to in the game. But I just think he made some good runs centrally. Probably could have had a penalty as well from a run from the central area on Saturday. So I'd like to see him in that position with Alafi and Wootton in front. Just go with all our firepower at once and see if we can score a couple of goals, and maybe try and see out a comfortable lead in the second half if we can get a couple of goals early on. Just get that firepower against them straight on. If we can't get a goal with Barry, Alafi and Wootton all on the same pitch at the same time from the get-go, then I think we're in trouble, especially on home turf. So that's the team that I would go with. Let me know your thoughts on who you would pick. Who do you think Challinor will pick? What's going to happen with the goalkeeper situation? What's going to happen with the midfield situation? Let me know your ideal starting 11. And score prediction, it's always a tough one at the moment. I'm never going to predict us to lose a game. I'm always going to be optimistic. I'm going to the game as well tomorrow, so there will be a match vlog available after the game for that one. I am going to go with an optimistic 2-0. Do we go 2-0? Yeah, I'll go 2-0 Stockport County. I want to see a clean sheet and a couple of goals. I'll be really happy with a 2-0 tomorrow. So that's my score prediction. Let me know your score prediction in the comment section below, of course. Let me know all your thoughts on Stockport County right now. How negative are you feeling? Are you positive? Are you optimistic? Let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to like the video, of course. Subscribe if you are new as well. We're trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. So do get subscribed if you're not already. And as always, thanks for watching.